Thanks for joining us for the City of Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Thanks for being with us again with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We have an hour-and-a-half meeting to talk about from May 20th and also a number of things happening in the city. We'll give you a list of things to get on your calendar in just a few minutes. But to that meeting on the 20th, one item pulled from consent, and that recognizes Public Works Week. Tell us more about that great department.
Yeah, so this was a proclamation to recognize Public Works Week, May 19th through the 25th. I think it was said well that celebrating everything that we do to make life normal, to bring about normal in everybody's neighborhoods, whether it's, the streets and boulevards being mowed and the water turning on and the toilets flushing and all of those things that we take for granted oftentimes, that our public works crews are out making sure that normal happens. And so much appreciation goes out to those crews, and that'll be recognized here this week, May 19th through the 25th.
Next couple items on the agenda related to the fire department. Some fun and excitement here. The first was the fire prevention poster contest winner, and some great photos going on there and a great poster as well.
Yeah, so this is always a fun event for the fire department to recognize the fire prevention poster contest winner. This year it was Devanshi Muganthan, I believe, and she had a poster that was "Cooking Safety Starts With You, Pay Attention to Fire Prevention." The poster is online as part of our packet. You can go take a look at it there, but she was recognized not only here by our local department for winning that, but also by the Minnesota State Fire Chiefs Association, and they do an award across the state looking at all of those fire prevention posters. So great recognition for her and her family. That's always a fun night, and they get some cash awards. They get a ride in a fire truck.
Nice.
There's all kinds of, and then there's a traveling trophy that goes to the school where they go. So very fun night for Devanshi's family.
Yep, congratulations. Next was firefighter oath of office, and 2 firefighters took the oath and again had their family there as well.
Yeah, so this is part of a long process of firefighters coming on board and completing all their fire academy training. So swearing them in was Mayor Stephenson and our acting chief Bill Abderhalden, Rachel Acavado Hoffman, and then Justin Erickson. And so celebrating their completion and getting on board as regular service paid on call firefighters for the community. Justin did come to us with some experience, so his runway in the fire academy was a little bit shorter, but we always appreciate when folks come with training, but we're always willing to invest in that training for firefighters as well. So congratulations to Rachel and Justin, and welcome aboard.
We'll have more about firefighters in the later part of the program as we talk about some of the recruitment efforts going on. Next was a public hearing on the 20th, and this has to do with the property around Heritage Christian Academy as they plan for some expansion work.
Yeah, so this is kind of the last piece of the process where we needed to vacate some old easements and move some utilities around. So public hearing held for that, and that was approved, and now Heritage will be moving forward.
Next item was the longest of the evening, this under Community and Economic Development, about a 50-minute discussion here, Hennessy Grove. So give us a little background, if you would, and what happened at the meeting.
Yeah, so this is a property just right off of Maple Grove Parkway, just kind of south of Fire Station 5 out there in southwest Maple Grove, if you're familiar with that area. About a 10-acre lot, or just under a 10-acre lot. 14 single-family home sites, pretty well-wooded piece of property, as well as there's some wetland on the property, and certainly this is an infill development where we've got the fire station kind of to the north, and then we've got residential development that's been there for some time, kind of both to the north and east of that, and so some change coming for that neighborhood. But working with Centra Homes on this one, they really brought in a project that met all of the requirements of the code. About 2.1 units per acre on this one. It is guided for low density residential, about a 10,000 square foot lot size. With the varying, 85 to 95 foot lots, that kind of a thing. And so nice development. A lot of concerns raised by the neighbors about tree removal, drainage, what types of homes were going to be built, those types of things. Worked through some of that with the developer and the council, and this one got approved on a 4-to-1 vote then.
Very good. A couple other items under community and economic development had to do with cannabis, and this is not new. The city has been researching and working on this for some time. Tell us about the two different points here.
Yeah, so wanted to be prepared. Come January, the Office of Cannabis Management will likely be standing up licenses for, the retail sale and then also cultivation and various forms of production for cannabis, legalized cannabis. And there are a number of different business types outlined in state law. If you're interested, they're all reflected in the code language. But we wanted to get out ahead of this. There was some discussion that the legislature and or the Office of Cannabis Management might authorize some early licenses for certain groups. And so we wanted to make sure we had not only our code in place. Under state law, the cities are allowed to establish zoning regulation, basically time, place, and manner of when cannabis business could take place. And so we got our zoning code in order. If you're interested, there's a map in the packet that kind of shows what properties would be eligible to have not only a cannabis retailer, but also kind of more on the cultivation production side. There are buffers that were allowed in state law around schools, daycares, those type parks, those types of things. And so we were, able to kind of delineate all of that on a map and show where those businesses could go. So that took care of the zoning code part of it. And then the second action was around registration. So the state will be the licensing entity on this.
Okay.
This, we're differing, in the liquor world or tobacco world, the city is the licensing entity. The state kind of kept that authority. So what the city is doing is sort of registering these businesses. And when the OCM gets an application for, say a cannabis retailer, they would be able to come, they apply to the state, and then the city receives notice of that and has 30 days to respond to, say, yes, this meets the zoning, those types of things in our code. Of note, I maybe should have mentioned this earlier, the number of cannabis-related businesses that we have to accommodate in our community is based on population. It's one per 12,500 people. So today, our code, we allow 6 businesses in town, and that would be the various retail types of businesses. There could be others in maybe the industrial side that would be more on the production side. But so got this registration piece in place about how that will happen at the city, and so now we're prepared, for January. I think it was good. The council recognized that. One, good to be ahead of this, but two, as we go along, we may need to make some tweaks. This is kind of everybody's learning as we go here a little bit, and we may need, to tighten things up or move things around a little bit. But good to have this structure in place so that we're ready when, a new business might be looking to locate in Maple Grove.
All right, and again, more information on the city's website about that and in the packet from that last meeting on May 20th. Report on upcoming items for community and economic development. The one item mentioned was the Planning Commission coming up, and that is May 28th. What is on the agenda?
Yeah, so this will shift to Tuesday because of the Memorial Day holiday. So we have a rezoning for a residential property on Annapolis Lane, and then we also have a PUD amendment for the Hindu Society of Minnesota. They're moving ahead with their next phase of their master plan up there, their education and cultural center. And so the council will have an opportunity to review that plan and see them continue to develop out their campus up there according to their master plan.
Quick update from Public Works and Engineering. Mentioned Public Works Week as well here. That was mentioned earlier in the consent agenda, but also the drop-off days. I understand things went very well.
Yeah, very successful drop-off days. Good opportunity to clean up the community. And so very appreciative of our Public Works staff for the time that gets put into that effort.
Final notes from the meeting on the 20th. Your update mentioned the upcoming holiday, and just a heads up for people about the government center offices.
Yeah, so city offices will be closed on Monday, May 27th in observation of the Memorial Day holiday. We do have the Memorial Day event happening over at Central Park at the Memorial there, kind of on the south west corner of the park, and that event is held by the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program and the Osseo Maple Grove Legion. So noon at Central Park there at the Memorial.
Next council meeting then will be on June 3rd, and you mentioned that there's a work session ahead of that. What's that topic?
Yeah, so we are going to be coming back around on the community center project phase 2. We now know the outcome of the legislative session, and maybe by by way of update there, the city really didn't receive any legislation that we were seeking in this session. And as I told the council, the only comfort in that is we're not alone.
That's right.
Is that many cities didn't see much progress at the legislative session this year, which is really disappointing. We put a lot of work into our efforts at the legislature and advancing legislation that's important to the city. So disappointing to not see action happen, but the one piece that we were pursuing was some additional construction dollars on the community center project, and so that they didn't do a bonding bill at all.
Right.
We want to come back around with the park board and the city council and talk about how do we advance phase 2? Do we want to continue just to move forward? Do we want to, look to, the next session, which is really up in the air? Next year wouldn't be a typical bonding year, but they didn't get a bonding bill done this year, and so would that come in the next session? Hard to say, and maybe hard to say until after the next election.
True.
So
True.
Lots of things, some uncertainty there with regard to what the future actions of a legislature might be, but we do want to talk with the council about, some of those phase 2 considerations and moving forward with design, and so more to come there, but will be good to provide the council and park board an update and get some discussion going on how do we proceed.
Very good, and we'll talk about that the next time we are together. So that's it for the meeting from the 20th. Now let's hop over to some other things happening around the city, and one publication that's online right now and soon to be printed is the summer newsletter. What's inside?
Yeah, so lots of great information about all the different things that happen during the summer months here in Maple Grove. It's available on our city website, and by the end of the month, paper copies will be mailed to all Maple Grove residents and businesses.
Here's a neat event that the city was involved in recently. It was called the Safe Communities Summit. Give us a little background, and the mayor was a part of that as well.
Yeah, so this was a great program put on by Hennepin County, the Safe Community Summit. It invited in community leaders and folks that do work in the area of violence prevention, violence interruption in our communities to kind of hear speakers from really around the country that are doing great work in this area. The mayor had the opportunity to be part of a panel with city leaders talking about the various issues or programs that are going on in each of our communities. So the mayors from Bloomington, Brooklyn Park, Edina, as well as the Community Safety Commissioner from Minneapolis were part of that panel. So thanks to Hennepin County for coordinating this. Both Chief Warner and I had the opportunity to be there on Thursday and Friday, and so some great takeaways from that summit.
Another item for you to put on your calendar to get out and see this is a new golf store in town. Tell us where it is, and it's already got a buzz to it.
Yeah, so this is at the shops at Arbor Lakes. It's Waggle Golf.
Okay.
It's a very creative golf apparel that is apparently the new rage. I wasn't aware of this one. So as we talked about it in our directors meeting, there were a few people like, yeah, this is a big deal. So this is over at the shops at Arbor Lakes, and so welcome to Waggle Golf.
Here's a topic that we've talked about in great detail in past years, maybe not as much detail this year, but it is watering restrictions.
Yeah.
So it is that time of the year again, Heidi, but what do we need to know this year?
Yeah, so on the heels of a good amount of rain yesterday, and it feels like, we've been getting these regular rains, so the need for sprinkling has been reduced, which is a great thing,
Yes.
all about conservation. So in that vein, we do prohibit outdoor lawn watering from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the purpose of that is really, during the heat of the day is probably the least productive time to be watering lawns and to be doing irrigation. So we encourage people to do it early morning or later in the evening or even overnight if they're able to schedule that with a system. And so also the odd even piece works, so your address number, odd even days, all of our information about this program and the restrictions in place is on our website. You can also contact Public Works and call somebody and talk to them, but just appreciate everybody's cooperation to help conserve water. It's an important issue in any community, and regardless of drought conditions or not, I think just having this in place, we really haven't seen any downturn in the condition of lawns or our landscape. I think that can survive on this type of an every other day schedule with restricted times, and so encourage everybody to adhere to those standards.
Yeah, website maplegrovemn.gov if you want to find out more about that. Well, earlier we talked about the oath of office for some firefighters, and now we've got recruitment time. So it is coming up, and some special sessions that people might want to come to.
Yeah, so we're out recruiting for firefighters. The application period is open through July 15th. It is a longer period of time. We do try to do some outreach and education during that process. We have an informational meeting coming up Saturday, June 1st at 10 a.m. and that's Fire Station 2 on Maple Knoll Way, just north of Weaver Lake Road there. Important, you know, if you're thinking about it, again, we provide all of the training that you need. So we, you know, our message is sort of come as you are. What we're looking for is people who are interested in serving their community and giving back to their community. In addition, it's a great little part-time job, and it comes with a pension. So that doesn't always come along with a part-time job. So great opportunity. We have great camaraderie on our paid-on-call fire department, and it's a good group to be joining. Important that you bring your family along. Joining a fire department is sort of a family commitment, so we want to make sure families understand what that might look and feel like as they get into that fire service. So lots more information available on mgfire.info.
Let's talk about the farmers market. We've been telling you that the site was going to change. It changed, and I understand a big success.
Yeah, it's been going well. In fact, the numbers were over what they've been at the community center.
Good.
So we're like, okay, this is interesting. So it is open at the Church of the Open Door every Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m. And we're going to be moving through the summer months of different kinds of produce here, but invite everybody out to this location at the Church of the Open Door on Thursdays from 3 to 7.
Another event to put on your calendar is the Juneteenth celebration. That's coming up on Wednesday, June 19th. And where is that going to happen? What are some of the activities?
Yeah, so this will be at Town Green, and from 5 to 9 p.m. Wednesday, June 19th. There's various aspects of this celebration: spoken word poetry, story walk and coloring mural, Black-owned vendor fair, food and beverages, live music and dance performances, including the popular Chase and the Ovation Prince Tribute Band.
Very nice.
So that'd be very fun. So we have a great group of community leaders that are helping to put this event together with our Parks and Rec team. So encourage people to come out on Wednesday, June 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Town Green.
Yeah, very well attended last year, so hope you can get out there and take a look at it. A lot of people thinking about the community center and using some of those facilities now, but again, as we mentioned earlier, Memorial Day coming up, so need to keep that in mind for the community center use.
Yeah, so community center will be open from 10 to 6 on Memorial Day. The outdoor pool will be open from noon to 6 there. The TCO rink right now is closed through June 9th for its annual repairs and cleaning. Busy summer coming up at the community center. We've got 19 graduation parties, 11 weddings and receptions scheduled. So if you're in the community center, there's going to be a lot of activity going on there. Encourage people to come on out. The other piece is the Central Park. The splash pad is open for those that are over at Central Park. I don't know if the weather's quite splash pad weather, particularly today.
Yeah,
but
a little chilly.
We look ahead, the weeks ahead, we'll have some warmer weather for folks over there.
Couple final notes to pass along. Starting of the photo contest is just a week or so away. Again, remind us what that is and why that's kind of fun for everybody to get involved in.
Yeah, so the city's annual photography contest opens on June 1st. It's a great way for residents to showcase their talent and contribute to the various photography that we use in all of our city publications and social media, website. All the information is available on our website. Just there's a little search bar at the top, just put photo contest and it'll take you right to that page.
Excellent. We'll give you that website in just a second. A lot of those photographers go to this next event really quickly to get some early photos, and that is Chalk Fest, and it sounds like bigger and better than ever. Yeah, so last year, very successful event, great weather. It was very packed, and so they are extending sort of the area where Chalk Fest will be to the block north of Arbor Lakes Parkway there on Main Street, right by the Government Center. So looking forward to some new, sort of more kid-friendly events on that north block, so that'll be a nice addition. Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th, hours are 10 to 5. Chalkfestmaplegrove.com is the website for more information, but praying for good weather that weekend, and I know they've got a lot of great things planned for that weekend. It is always a great deal of fun. So that's it for your recap of the meeting of the 20th and a look ahead at some of the things happening in the city. Heidi, thanks again for your time.
Of course.
Let's leave you with that website. We mentioned it many times, so you're going to have to go here to find out some of the things that have happened, to some of the things coming up. You see it lower left, maplegrovemn.gov. And just a reminder, the next meeting for the City Council is on Monday, June 3rd at 7:30 p.m. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us for the City of Maple Grove Report.